Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. This should be a pretty fun one. I know that I am actually excited for this. So today, we're gonna revisit the bank vault door that we attempted to shoot through in my last video. So if you didn't see it, basically, I have a family member who works for a banking company, and whenever they close a location, he gets to bring home all kinds of random cool stuff. He's brought home bulletproof glass, bank vault doors, and fortunately for me, I get to attempt to shoot through this stuff. So in the last video, we shot the bank vault door with some different 12 gauge loads, and it was very unsuccessful. So I promised you guys that we would bring it back out and attempt to shoot through it with some pistols and rifles. So today, we have a truck bed full of different guns. We have small pistols, bigger pistols, small rifles, bigger rifles, and we have some pretty cool ammo that we're gonna shoot today as well. So I don't know about you guys, but when I think of a bank vault door, I think of like the main vault, you know, the big door with the wheel lock that you can walk into and it's just full of cash. That isn't what this is, but this door is still really heavy duty, and it does kind of have me curious how bulletproof it is. So here is the door that I'm referring to. You can see all the damage from the last video where we shot it with the shotgun, and obviously a lot of these didn't do anything, but some of them did kind of impress me. Like this one here gave it a pretty big dent, and then the 1 ounce slug that we shot down here also put a pretty good sized dent in the door. And then on the back side here, you can see that it kind of bulged out the back. Obviously it knocked the paint off every time we shot it, but it bulged it out and even kind of spider webbed that metal. So this door is destructible. Now, whether or not we'll be able to get through it with the guns that we have, I don't know, but we're gonna try and see if we have more success than we did with the 12 gauge shotgun. All right, I flipped the door around so we're not shooting at the same side we shot the 12 gauge at it, so hopefully we'll be able to see all these fresh holes. We're gonna start with the 22 long rifle out of the Taurus PT-22. We'll do this one one-handed. I don't think that did too much. So it took the paint off, left a pretty good mark, but did absolutely no damage. So this is a gun we haven't had out in a while. Let's try the 380 ACP out of the Sig Sauer P290. So the 380 hit right next to the 22. It also took a little paint off, but once again, did absolutely no damage. Let's try a 9mm out of the Glock 17. So that one left a much bigger mark, but I still don't think it did any damage. Let's try a 9mm tracer round. You can see the red paint on the tip of that bullet. Now, I don't think this tracer is gonna do too much more damage, but it's a tracer, so we're gonna shoot it. I couldn't see the trace. I wonder if you guys could. It is pretty bright out here. So the sun is splitting this thing right in half, so it's kind of hard to see, but this is the regular 9mm that we shot, and then this is the tracer. Both of them left pretty big marks, but once again, neither one of these did any damage either. So this door seems like it's gonna be pretty tough to get through. We're gonna try a couple more pistols, and then we'll move on to some rifles. 40 Smith & Wesson out of the Glock 23. I put that right in between the two 9mm that we shot. They're spying on us. I swear, every time I come out here and shoot, I hear an airplane fly over about an hour later. All right, I brought a 45 out, but we're gonna go ahead and skip that. The 9 and the 40 both didn't do anything, and the 45 isn't gonna do any better. So the last pistol we're gonna shoot is actually the 357 SIG, also out of the Glock 23. It's just a conversion barrel for it. And if there's a pistol round that's gonna do any damage, it's probably something like this. So let's see. That's a loud gun. So here's where our 357 SIG hit. Once again, it did leave a pretty big mark, and there actually is a tiny dent right in the middle of where that bullet hit. So you guys probably won't be able to see it, but I can feel it when I rub my finger across it. There is just a tiny dent, but still not too much damage. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little less optimistic now than I was in the beginning. because I thought the 357 would do a little more damage than that. So hopefully some of these rifles do a little bit better. All right, now we got the AR-15. This is a fully semi-automatic rifle for those of you that don't know.
Full semi-automatic.
And this shoots the very small and very fast 5.56. I actually think this might be one of the better chances that we have to get through this. So let's see. Putting it in full semi-auto. I think I see a dent. Oh yeah. Wow, look at that hole in the front of that door. Man, that's probably, I would say, almost 3/4 of the way through. I'm trying to get kind of a side angle here so you guys can see. I'll show you how thick this door is on the side here. You can see it's, I would say, 1/3 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 inch, probably not quite a 1/2 inch thick. And that hole is definitely, I would say, 3/4 of the way through the door. Let's check out the back side. All right, so we got a pretty big bulge, that's what she said, on the back of this door. I just want to see if you guys can actually see this stuff. It's really hard on camera, but that's definitely a big bulge out the back and a really deep hole in the front from that 5.56. So I actually have another 5.56 that I want to try, but we're going to move on to another rifle and then we'll come back to the AR-15 again because I think we have a chance of getting through that thing. All right, you guessed it. Next we have the AK-47 that shoots the 7.62 by 39. Now this is a bigger bullet than the 5.56, but it's actually going quite a bit slower. So that's why I think the 5.56 will probably still get more penetration. But let's see how the AK does. Man. So you guys aren't gonna believe this. Right before I shot the AK, I came up here and moved my GoPro around more to the front of our bank vault door just in case something went all the way through. I wanted to get the perfect shot. And then this is what I just walked up on. So it looks like that 7.62 must have ricocheted back and just shattered the lens on my GoPro. So I'm actually kind of sad about this because this GoPro has been through so much. It's like indestructible, and it's been in probably 50 videos on the channel at least, and it looks like it's time to say goodbye to it. So I can't believe it. I just popped the lens cover off of the GoPro. You can see how shattered that thing is. It looks like it has a bullet hole right through the middle of it. But looking at the actual GoPro itself, it looks like the lens is basically untouched. I just wiped some of that dust off and it's in perfect condition. So thank God for these little GoPro lens covers. That's actually why I haven't replaced this one, because on the new ones, I think the GoPro 8, they did away with these. So the lens is all you have. If you break it, you either have to send it in to repair it or just buy a whole new camera. Whereas these old school babies got these protective lens covers. So here's where the 7.62 hit, and then here's where our 5.56 hit. So the 7.62 obviously is bigger in diameter, but like I suspected, the 5.56 is still the deeper of the two holes. And I suspected that would be the case because the 5.56 is just going so much faster, and when it comes to stuff like this, velocity is what wins. So I turned the GoPro back on and it's working. That thing is a little beast. I obviously backed it off because I don't want to catch another ricochet, but it literally took a bullet and it's still working. So next we are back to the AR-15. Like I said, I have one more round I want to try with the 5.56, and I'm sure most of you already know what it's going to be. But this is a 62 grain M855 green tip steel core 5.56. Now obviously the steel core is better at penetrating stuff. Some people refer to these as armor piercing. I don't think they're actually like armor piercing. Most 5.56 will penetrate soft body armor, but they definitely do penetrate hard barriers and stuff quite a bit better than regular 5.56, and our amazing government has even tried to outlaw them a few times. So it should penetrate this thing a little more than the other one. Let's see if it makes it all the way through. I don't see as big of a mark as I did with the other, so maybe it just zipped right through and didn't do the collateral damage. I know the green tips, you know, aren't really liked in combat because they don't yaw and tumble like 5.56 is supposed to inside of the body, but hopefully we got a clean pass through. Let's go check it out. So we actually do have a pretty good hole right here. I couldn't see it because there was a twig in front of it, but here is the first 5.56, here's the 7.62 by 39, and then here is the green tip steel core 5.56, and I'm really hoping that you guys will be able to see just how deep that hole is, because it has to be like a millimeter away from going all the way through this thing. It is quite a bit deeper than the first 5.56, but it's a smaller hole, so there's a shadow that's making it kind of hard to see in there, but I think you guys can see it. That is so close to getting all the way through. And then on the back here, once again, we have a humongous bulge where that bullet almost came out the back. So unfortunately, I only had one green tip 5.56 out here with me, but this bank vault door is pretty dang bulletproof, man. Those green tips are known for penetrating stuff, and for this thing to stop a green tip 5.56 is crazy impressive. So I don't have any like high powered rifles like a 50 BMG or something like that. I wish I did. We definitely have it out here, but before we wrap this up, I do have one more 7.62 by 39 that I want to shoot, and it should be pretty cool. All right guys, last but not least, we have the 7.62 by 39 Incendiary round. I actually bought a few of these several months ago, and I haven't shot this one because the bullet was recessed a little bit into the shell casing, and it kind of made me nervous, so I didn't shoot it, but I'm gonna go ahead and just hold this out one-handed and shoot it. It should be fine. It's still straight and everything. It just was set back a little bit further than the others, but I really want to see what it does to our bank vault door. This is a heavy gun to shoot one-handed. Hopefully the GoPro survived that one. So I obviously turned the door around for this one because the other side was getting kind of full, but here is the 7.62 by 39 Incendiary round, and it actually didn't penetrate nearly as far as the full metal jacket did, but it did leave a little black mark right there, which kind of leads me to believe that we may have gotten a flash out of this thing, and hopefully we were able to see it on the GoPro. But that is gonna do it for me today, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast trying to shoot through this bank vault door, and I gotta say, I'm actually really impressed. I did not expect it to stop a lot of these bullets, especially that green tip 5.56. I thought that would definitely be the one to make it through if none of the others did, and it actually stopped it. It was razor close. It almost went through, but it did stop it, and that is just super impressive. Obviously, if you had like a full mag of them, you could probably shoot through it, but for anything to stop that green tip 5.56, that's actually pretty impressive. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know down in the comments. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can visit my Patreon. I will post a link to that in the description box and up here on the screen for you guys. I'd really appreciate that. And if you did like the video, guys, give it a thumbs up for me. I would appreciate that as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. And we're back. It's been 3 or 4 days, and I just could not end this video without getting through this bank vault door. It was leaving a bad taste in my mouth. So for videos like this, I really wish I had like high-powered rifles. If any of you guys want to buy me a 50 BMG, I'll definitely take it. They're only 5 to 10 grand, so definitely really affordable. But here I have the bank vault door again, and I actually flipped it around to the back side because this is not as riddled with bullet holes as the front side is, and I'm hoping we can kind of get a fresh spot on there. But once again, I have the AR-15 out here, and I have loaded the magazine full of these green tip M855s, and I'm hoping that with the red dot on there, I'll be able to kind of keep my muzzle focused on the exact same spot and try to send multiple rounds into the same hole. And since one of these almost went all the way through, I'm thinking 3 or 4, if I can get them in the same hole, I should definitely do the trick. So let's see. So the ricochet that broke my GoPro kind of spooked me. So for this, I'm actually hiding kind of behind a tree, and it's also going to give me a little spot to rest the rifle and, you know, keep these shots more accurate. So let's see if we can get through this thing. I got 10 of them in here right now. If it don't work, we'll do some more. Let's go check it out. Man, it smells so weird walking up on this thing, almost like something burning. I assume from just all those bullets, you know, hitting the door that fast. But here is our shots, and we got a full pass through. Yes, right there it is. Man, I'm surprised the group's this big. Whenever I was shooting, I was holding my red dot right there on that spot in the middle, and I didn't see all these, you know, stringing off to the side like that, but Obviously, it's kind of tough to get multiple bullets in the exact same hole, but it looks like we at least got 2, because that is definitely a complete pass-through. Let's check out the back side. And there it is. You can see daylight on the other side of it. Now, obviously, there's marks back here from, shooting it the other day too. But there is our full pass-through, which was all I cared about. Now, here's the mark on the tree. It doesn't look like it went into the tree. It looks like it just kind of chipped off a little spot. But I assume this insanely thick, heavy bank vault door probably slowed that thing down quite a bit before it hit the tree. Actually, let's see if we can find the bullet. I'll be shocked if we can. There's a bunch of leaves around here and stuff. But it is a steel core bullet, so I'm thinking it might be intact. I think that's it. So this is that. That's definitely it. Or I guess it could be a piece from the door. But to me, that definitely looks like our bullet. Wow. It's completely intact, obviously deformed quite a bit. And it looks like, because of the steel core, I'm assuming that it actually stayed intact and didn't really break apart. That is cool. I didn't think I was gonna be able to find that. So, like I said, guys, I didn't really want to end this video without getting through here somehow. I wish I did have a higher powered rifle. That would be a little more fun. I'm than just shooting multiple 5.56s, but those green tips are really good at penetrating stuff. And I knew if I came out here and was able to place a couple in the same spot, we'd probably be able to get through it, and we did. Yes.